Alright guys, here we're talking about Umbrella Academy, Season 1, Episode 3.
Hopefully Season 1 of 10.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how much of the graphic novel there is. If it's
I have
a
no
long
idea.
run. Yeah, I didn't look that up at all.
No. Better to be surprised.
I will try to pick this up roughly in the order that matters.
Okay.
And we'll end where it ends.
You got it.
So, those tapes. Wait, I have to show you the tapes,
Yes.
right? A lot of this episode's kind of led around by the nose by this revelation and what's going on here,
Yeah.
right? It's a bunch of stuff happening with Mom Bot.
I feel bad for Mom Bot.
Oh, hell yeah, you do. It's wonderful.
And I think there's a lot more going on there than, like, we'll ever know.
Oh, yeah.
And that worries me a little bit.
Why?
Well, I like
Elaborate.
to know everything.
Okay.
And the Mom Bot, seems to actually be able to care. And then she's clearly malfunctioning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so what? Was she hacked? Did this happen naturally? Do any of them have the ability to fix her if something goes wrong?
I think not.
I
think that's the problem.
No, yeah.
And I think, so like, we touch on, I could write a whole term paper on like this subplot or something so far. The whole thing about like, was that you saying it or was that him making you say it? Well, he made you, so he was the one. And them like debating the reality of consciousness or something like that in this quick like argument about like, do we shut her down? Her thing of like the paintings, I wonder if she's lonely. And then Diego like can't take it anymore, has to leave and doesn't say goodbye, and like the shot just hangs on her looking at the painting. Oh man, it's great. This whole thing was great.
Yes.
Him like stuttering as a kid and her doing it, but then doing it again when he's an adult, as if
he loses his cool.
Because that's her like programming and all that stuff, and sewing through her hand. I'm just telling you everything that happened in the episode, but I like all these.
The
things.
actress that plays Mom has this great like ability to just be like dead faced, and
like
how she does things. She's
Stepford Wives,
super
like,
robotic.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really she really sells this.
Yeah.
And I just can't help but feel bad for this inanimate object that like is like going senile or getting dementia or just slowly winding down over time. And the man that was brilliant enough to make you isn't around anymore. So you, like, even if something simple happened, like, oh, she needs a new battery, like I don't know that anyone would be able to do that.
I don't think anyone has the skills.
And that's what's horrifying. That's why like you don't want to try new foods when you go to foreign places, because what if I never get that food again? What? Same process.
Okay. But like Pogo's not really involved, but he like overheard them debating it and all that stuff. Like it's very there's a lot going on right here, and I wonder what's going to happen. If I think about it like meta contextually, I'm like, do they just have to remove the android from the equation, right? They keep getting knocked down a little bit in their ability to respond to this looming threat, and I like that things are kind of like naturally almost falling apart.
I thought we were going to see a bigger ending for Mom, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
she'll be back.
Well, they dropped a line that said Mom is programmed to protect us.
Exactly.
And I thought there was going to be something about Mom like going into judo mode and fucking killing those two guys with guns.
Or she like dies protecting them from them or something like that. I thought
during
so too.
the debate of should we turn her off. And I was like, okay, that would be poetic.
Yeah.
Or did Mom kill their father because he was going to do something to them? Was she protecting them?
Oh my God!
When he died,
James Franco. Whoa. Okay.
So
that's
I don't
amazing.
know. There's something that line was not dropped in there for nothing. It seems like it had to be something that makes sense.
Yeah. Big time, and I think it's going to come up again. I still was not sure whether or not he did have a heart attack, and then she just didn't help or whatever, or if she actually did poison him or do something.
I don't know.
To
and
him.
the whole Diego even having the monocle. I'm like, what? And why did he throw it away? Like, what? It was very weird.
Because he's like covering. Because he's
he's covering for Mom.
If we take him at face value, because I knew you'd overreact, just like you're doing right now, Luther, this monster. All that stuff that he's waggling his knife at and all that business or whatever.
Who is Harry? I did.
Oh yeah.
I did.
We'll get to that.
Put that wrong.
Put a pin in that.
Pinned.
Part the hair and put a pin in that. That's basically the Mom thing, but we see the flashbacks of them preparing for the mission. Got the klaxon going and like the red lights and the dad walking up and down. That little moment too when she's helping Diego and like Diego gets through the sentence and the dad's in the hallway and kind of goes, right? And this whole all of his complicated feelings about, and this is how like real parents can be. Your dad doesn't actually compliment you. He just tells his friend while you're there that he's doing really well this year in school, and you're like, oh wait, or something like that, right? There's this like indirection that comes from like the emotionally distant father.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is like thematically a thing, right? Because we have a mom bot though instead of like a whatever, right? This is what I like about science fiction and fantasy, when you create something that's a more obvious or overt version of something that's real but like awkward to talk about, and you can show it in this big thing, right?
Even if the father never once said anything about caring about them, he didn't have to program a caring robot.
Yeah.
He could have just made a very efficient, like Rosie the robot type that would just be like, all right, no, here is food, you are fed, la la la. Like, he made it look like a loving character. He made it actually love them. It was called Mom. Like, all those touches show a person that does care about you.
Well, and like they all kind of hate their father, and they still call him dad, and they all know their mother was really a robot, and they still call her mom, right? This is a whole. There's again, it's a whole semester we could go through just with this, and she's already turned off, and I'm like, wait, no. So she has to make some sort of appearance later, or else
I would definitely like that.
I'll be very, but you think that it will not happen?
I'm skeptical.
There's a lot going on here. We may not have time.
You're definitely going to get a conversation, a group powwow. If you turned Mom off, I had to. Blah blah. I was the leader of saying like this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
But we had to.
Just in case I forget, when they're all debating, and Klaus says, "If Ben was here, he would agree with me." And then Ben goes,
"I don't."
And Ben's like, "No, I don't," or something like that. And you're like, "Oh God, it's great, it's wonderful." But we'll get to all that wonderful stuff somewhere else. I want to get through this Vanya stuff if we're done with Mom and Diego. So we get a montage way of like her writing the book. The Umbrella Academy has real comic books like diegetically in this world, much like the X-Men comics.
And that's what triggered her to buy her first typewriter.
Yeah. So I wasn't clear if she pawned her violin at the time to get the typewriter, if she just bought a typewriter randomly.
I think she just bought a typewriter.
It was a weird image of her. And you don't clearly see the violin on her way out, so I was like, are we meant to think that she swapped her passion at that moment or something? But either way, has a typewriter, knocks out the whole book, then there's a montage of all them reading it. Again, you get Ben over Klaus's shoulder. Wow, she said that? Like, holy crap. And he's like...
No, I like the Ben character. I like that he's there.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to when he died, again, if you age after death or not.
I know.
Or if that was just a statue of a time that was simpler when...
Yeah,
he was a kid,
like a little Bruce Wayne statue.
Yeah.
But if we go to the present day, if we're ready to do that, we see her now. She's like late to practice. She's like third chair violin, even though it's been years. As that bitch calls out, she tears her down. Right? She's like, why don't you find something you're really passionate about? I don't think this is working out for you, or whatever. Right? Damn, that's so savage.
But it is also kind of like. Sometimes a savage response to you can be the kick in the pants you need to really do something. Cause
it kicks your pants.
I don't know if there's anything fundamentally wrong with being third chair forever, though.
No.
You are still infinitely better than anybody else.
Right.
You know, if you get the bronze in the Olympics, no one's like, this idiot bronze in the Olympics.
Some people are, and like...
Those people are idiots, though.
But to take that analogy... this is like the gold medalist saying, "What are you running for? You're not going to catch me. Get out of here." And the person going like, "Oh no," and all that stuff, right? This like crazy, like, well, if you're not going to be the best, what's the point? When you're right, in reality, some people are just third chair violin people, and if you like playing violin and you're okay sitting in the back, just keep doing it. Who cares, right? So yes, but clearly Vanya, this like gets to her. Well, because she's not a good thing.
She has no powers. Her power, in quotes, is that's like, well, I can play the violin. I'm very good at the violin, but I'm not as good as that person.
I'm not the best.
Even the thing that is my thing is not my thing.
Exactly. Exacto mundo. And
that can be a brutal realization. Like when people think they're not special.
Oh, yeah. Well, and she has all that baggage from her childhood and her father.
Where she is literally told she is not special.
Nothing special about you. Yeah. No, I know. I like it. And we got a thing. I'll save this for a few minutes from now.
Okay.
Creepy woodworker She actually goes to his shop.
Yeah.
She sees the creepy thing, right? And so last time you called, like, he's obviously a villain. This is obviously a ploy. This is obviously a thing. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But in my head, I'm like, we'll see how this goes, I guess. He might be a creep for some other reason, or there might be something else like that. In here, it's the most obvious thing ever. Were you in that umbrella thing? And I'm like, oh my God, please stop this. What are you doing? This is so... Or maybe you flipped now, or are you still on board with the original?
No. I think you will see a few episodes where they will have a budding relationship.
Yep.
And then a dark turn will happen.
Okay, so here's my theory. You can tell it's going to be good when I'm cracking up. Okay, he says, antique restoration, that's my bread and butter, but really I make creepy dolls for you, whatever, right? So I think there's an old violin that he, like, restores and does something with, right? And then he needs her to, like, play it or do something like that. And it either gives her powers in some way or makes her important or something like that. And so she goes with it, right? In some weird way to, like, fall into his evil plan or something like that. And then she's at odds with her siblings where she's like, I am special now. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You've been taken over by the curse of the whatever thing. Some stupid thing like that. I feel like something like that's going to happen.
Do you think that's based on, like, was he one of the 42? Can he imbue things? Can he make the best thing? Like, I made the best violin, and now you can finally beat the blah blah. Or it's a cursed object.
No,
and now the first chair breaks her wrists.
I don't know, but you are exactly speaking my language.
Okay.
Where she's
I don't know
like,
if I think anything's gonna happen, but I like the idea.
Something happens to me when I play this violin. Something happens, and, like, you're right, it does something, but it's like the most powerful power somehow, right? Or it's just being used, or it's a possession thing, some weird. But that's a great angle, right? The like first chair violin, she gets her arm in, like, the garbage disposal by accident and, like, destroys her fingers, right? Some terrible stuff.
Well, I would think
it's like Wish Upon or something.
All that may happen, but it is just that guy doing it.
With his power. Okay, yeah.
I don't even know if he has a power.
Oh.
I think he might have just like a Tanya Harding scenario.
Like a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good too.
Like, no, you are the best, blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah, it could be more grounded like that. You're right. There's a way. So, like, that's the main thing is, like, the end, and, like, how we get there is not necessarily, but I really feel like an antique violin is going to happen and maybe not lead to everything else, right?
Yeah,
Something
we'll
like
see.
that. There's something going on here. But I hate this character. I hate this whole thing. I hate that she's falling for it, but it makes her even more vulnerable to me, so I think it's intentional, right?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, it's still good, but I hate it. There we go.
All right. What else happens?
Hazel and Cha-Cha.
Yes.
We instantly answer our concern from last time because Hazel is cauterizing a wound on her upper arm.
Yes.
So that's because she was screened. He may have even gone for the neck or the head, but hit her in the arm. That's why we saw blood flying. That's why she wasn't. And, like, I thought more about it too. I think time travel, even like a small time travel, might be, like, off limits to him now because he knows how risky it is and he might, like, not want to do it anymore.
I didn't think he did it on purpose.
Might be by accident.
I thought it was an accidental thing
because he was flustered and stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That was my thought.
Yeah, I would have had mixed feelings because of how little they, like, call attention to it. I would have thought, like, thank you for giving your audience so much credit. I don't deserve that much credit, though, because I was just a little confused and then thought it's fine.
Yeah,
but
won't
luckily,
be certain unless we see anything else like that ever happen again.
Yeah. Well, here, I mean, it was her arm.
Well,
was cut
in that
right?
scenario, it could just be she got cut from something else.
I guess
That would happen.
That would be super extra weird to me.
Yeah.
I would call that a, like, mistake on their part at that point.
I don't know.
'Cause it's confusing.
Well, there's a lot of fightings and things are happening and things are exploding and jumping around based on bullets and this and that.
So do you feel like we learned anything more about Hazel and Cha-Cha and where they're from? They get, like, a vacuum
the
tube
future.
message.
I would like to know how that worked.
Yeah.
Like, because this hotel, they were just staying in because it was cheap, I thought. I didn't notice, like, this is a link to the future or something. Like, how does that even work?
How is that built in there?
I
They're
don't
getting
know.
messages from the future. I assume they're from the future, but it appears their guns are from the past. Is that the accurate depiction or whatever?
They're based out of the past, is how I understood it.
Oh, the, like, people from the future are doing stuff in the past or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that. I'm like, there's something weird going on because they drop a line in, these bullets haven't been manufactured since 1963 or something like that. And then later, when you see Cha-Cha's gun, it's very clearly like an old gun. To me, they were weird guns, so I assumed that they were future guns. They're actually weird, old.
I thought it was like
guns.
an old grease gun or some weird thing from World War II.
It's a weird looking gun like that. It is, and it kind of makes that that like noise too. So it's very interesting. But hopefully they are kind of from the future though, because otherwise the stuff doesn't make sense. And
Oh
not
yeah,
just
I don't think they were exclusive from the past. My
Yeah.
thought is that some company or whatever, it was, in the far-flung future has figured out like going into the
Yeah.
past, they good center location to going forward and backward or something like that, and we
Yeah.
have cheap property, and he likes the accents.
There's some sort of looper thing going on, right, where he's using a weird gun and it's a weird time thing or something like that. But yeah, bullets from the 60s, we got that. I love Hazel in the donut shop.
Yeah.
I love that he says elaborate, only now it's not a sinister thing. It's just a casual elaborate while he's eating his donut and all that stuff. And I love when Cha-Cha comes back in and he like changes his entire body language and demeanor. And I'm like, this is amazing. These are great characters.
When you split up and you go to get a donut, it appears.
Maybe. Well, I needed some comfort food after that disaster. Like, he's such a great, his undershirt and is like sitting there on the vibrating bed.
I don't understand enough about him though.
Oh,
because
he
seemingly is super powerful.
We have things to talk about.
But holding the briefcase hurts his wrist, and like he's a bitch or something. But like can fight the world's strongest man and win.
Maybe the briefcase is like a collapsed neutron star, and it's impossibly heavy or something like that. I have no idea.
And a slight splint on his wrist fixes it. It seems very.
I have no idea. But yes, he goes toe to toe with Luther. They're literally pro wrestling. They're like fighting and stuff like that. And he's brawlic. He's taking stuff. He's taking hits. His head is protected, but he's getting smashed by everybody.
Yeah,
and he's just cracking his neck and going back in there and throwing people around. It's amazing.
Yeah,
what is going on?
It made me question everything. Where I'm like, are these of the 42? Because their age range doesn't seem to line up exactly right.
But they're time travelers.
They are time travelers.
I don't know.
They have a briefcase.
I don't know where their powers come from. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we've never had to take out one of our own meant that they are part of the original 40-something kids.
Maybe.
Could that have been what the reference was?
It could have.
I like that too. Something's going on though, because they've never heard of the Umbrella Academy, because they say, who the hell are these people, right?
Yeah. Oh.
How could that be? And how did that tattoo help them then? This is confusing.
If they're far flung from the future originally, and the Umbrella Academy all dies, and then they live in the past before the Umbrella Academy, it would make sense that they could not be super familiar.
The Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah,
with the T-virus. It's perfect. It's all shared universe, you see.
It is.
No, I know, but like those details, rather than piss me off, because now the show has proven to me, we're going to fill this in. We're going to go back. We're going to explain.
Yeah, it makes me just happy and wonder.
Yeah, we're going to tie this up. But I actually really enjoy, I enjoy us predicting stuff or trying to guess stuff here, but I really cherish the few days of my week where I've watched the episode but we haven't talked yet, where I just get to live in like the mystery and not know or whatever. And then I come here and I'm like, okay, they wouldn't kill off this character because the audience likes him too much, so this character's probably, and then we can call it or whatever. But I like to live in that uncertainty and mystery of things or whatever. Speaking of which, something I hate.
What's that?
Allison won't rumor Cha-Cha for like no reason.
Yeah, she doesn't do that anymore.
But
that's strange.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I don't do hamster style anymore.
I did. Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah, exactly. It is exactly a hamster style moment, and we should start calling it that from now on. Sure. Because she just when you have a character that has an OP ability, you have to tone it down, or else the fights become too easy. So, speaking of which, Allison can fight. And is seemingly superhuman because she can go toe-to-toe with these people.
Well, I think all of them are trained fighters.
I guess, but would it just be training be enough? Because she's able to land hits and take hits from these people.
Well, if you think about
powerful.
If you think about from birth, you are trained to be an elite whatever. You're probably gonna be pretty awesome.
I don't know. Hazel's a beast.
Yes. But
I know. So I'm okay with that. I would love to hear a confirmation either way of exactly who's got what going on or something like that. Did their father inject them with something to make them even better specimens?
I don't think so.
There's also an element sometimes when you've got people, even though all their powers are different, just being in that club ups all of your stats and you're better than average. Your power is this, but you're actually stronger than an average person, like superhumanly, right?
I'd like to know more about what is Diego's exact power. Can he pick where the shot goes exactly? Because why would he throw that thing and hit her in the back of the leg? Why not hit her in the spine?
There's a thing earlier where they're in the hallway and he's ducking out of the way of them shooting, but gets 2 knife throws off and it literally hits them both directly in the mask. Tink tink. It gets them and they go and it's awesome camera, thing or whatever. So yes, I assume his aim is amazing, and I'm not sure. Again,
he could not see Hazel.
Yes.
At all. He threw a boomerang shot up the stairs and hit her in the thigh. So like, hey, impressive.
Okay.
Like no one could make that shot ever. But I wonder to the length of what his power is.
Yeah. There's something going on there, though, right? Because when he was using his special knives, I'm like, maybe they're batarangs too, and they can fly a certain way. But this was a thing that just Allison.
It was a butter knife.
She just handed him a thing, and he ends up throwing it. And again, I don't know if it was fancy camera work, but it seems to imply that it's like turning and like hitting her.
It
right?
went up the stairs. Huh?
Yeah, it was a crazy thing. So I don't know how his power works, but it's amazing. It's a whole situation. But they're fighting. She has the broken pool thing. They're all hitting. There's a great Jackie Chan moment where I think it like clipped one of Diego's fingers, and he's doing this one while he's fighting. Like does one of those and stuff like that. And I'm like, I love little things in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, I like the Diego character. He doesn't seem to carry nearly enough knives for what his power is. It seems like he has like a big harness and all this shit, and there's like 3 knives. Yeah. And I'm like, why would you like? It should be like there was a character on the old Sinbad TV show who like didn't speak and threw knives, and he had just like a sash, like you just one thing was just knives, and that's what Diego should have. It should be like gauntlets that are made of knives that just peel off and like slowly come down.
Yeah, he should have like a like quiver made of knives.
Yeah,
a quiver full of knives or whatever.
And it's made of knives, so when you're done, you just pop off the pieces.
Yeah, or like something like he should have like a plan A, which he seems to. He seems to have special brand knives that he uses. Yeah, and then also like like if your power was like impeccable aim, you would have like a bag of marbles too. Yes, just as like a I lost my things. All right, and you could like do something right, but I don't know. We'll find out. It's perfect though. The fight does not go well for everyone. Vanya's in there for a minute. Yeah. This is bad.
Yeah,
right?
She gets cracked.
Yeah, but it's seemingly okay.
Yeah, she's fine.
But it kind of leads to like, this is kind of dangerous. And she's like, fine, you guys, I'm not part of this, and like leaves. And ends up going to Creeper guy.
Yeah, I don't know how she even knows his address.
She knows, again, like dialogue choices. They can't have him reading off the address for no reason. But yes, like she knew exactly where his shop was just by hearing what town it was in. Not even hearing the name of it.
But knowing a woodworking shop in a town, that is probably the only one you can probably Google it easily. But knowing his address is a lot different.
His home address. So we assume they exchanged that information, but that's weird.
We can't assume anything that's not true.
Come over. Yeah, do you want to have dinner like at my house? I'm a super creep.
Yeah.
I'm super creep,
Of course I do. Can I sleep there too, like for a while? Because I
have like tears like streaming down my face.
And blood in my head.
And blood streaming down my head. Okay, I really like the line, by the way, before the Hazel Luther fight. They're like squaring up again. Who are these people? What's going on? And he's like, I lost my gun. He says it in this hilarious way. And then he's like looking and walks over, okay, and like grabs the stupid mace. And then Luther immediately disarms him and is like, hey, over here, and starts doing his fighting stuff and all that stuff.
Luther, who is like the Yeti.
The chandelier falls. For a split second, I was like, does Diego die here? We've had a lot of character development with Diego and stuttering. Is he going to stutter while there's blood coming out of his neck because this chandelier lands just right? But then Luther's the one because he pushes him.
Yeah,
right?
He almost thinks Luther got impaled by it.
Because he's making a face
Luther's
like
skin appears to be thick enough to like take the hit.
Well, then all of my worry shifts over to Luther, where I'm like, okay, he's like super strong or like whatever and like thick, but like again, the back of your skull, maybe like the chandelier pointy bit is just lined up just right, and that's why he's making that weird face with his eyes and something. Yeah. But no, he gets up and it just tore off his shirt.
Exposing his like almost scarred looking chest with hair and
like plates of thick like chitinous skin.
Yeah, like rhino snake skin.
Yeah, like
and hair.
And just gross hair. And like everyone's reactions are great. Vanya just stares. Diego's like, holy shit. And everyone's just staring at each other for a long time. The sound drops out. Yeah. And Luther just runs away.
Yeah, he's embarrassed.
It's over. I know. It's a great way to handle that. And then immediately Diego's like, did you know? And then Allison goes, no. And I'm not sure if that's real or not, but she says no. Yeah. And then he just goes off. And then we get a little bit of him like looking at himself in the mirror, like, I'm a monster.
I'm a monster.
I'm a monster.
I'd take it.
Right?
Yeah.
Start shaving.
I need that like
tastefully trim.
Also be 5 times larger.
Yeah. He's a beast.
He's a monster, literally.
He's literally a monster. I like that none of it's on his face though, and you can kind of see this
Yeah.
like line where like on like one side it's starting to come up his neck, and on one side he has some like soft neck or whatever. Right? It's very integrated well and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can't wait to have his episode or whatever it's going to be to find out more about that mess. You know what I mean?
I wonder if he. That could be interesting. What, Luther? We sent you to the moon because you are part werewolf, and you can get extra power from being on the moon.
That would be amazing. That's why he said when the sun hits the moon just right, because that's moonlight then, right? And then I felt like I belonged there because the moonlight. I don't think that's true, but I would love that.
That's just something funny I thought about just now.
I would love it 10 times. But then it's like, why is he still powerful here? Was he more powerful there?
It's to power up.
Oh, he's like Superman sucking up the sun. I love it.
Klaus is kidnapped.
Klaus is my last note. You call on perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, Klaus, first of all, is in the dumpster.
He's dancing around everywhere. Yeah,
He's in the dumpster. He's looking for the stuff. Wonderful. And kind of has to misdirect. There's some dumb stuff with the van.
Oh, wait, did he actually ever find it, or he just found a donut?
He says, oh, I found what I was looking for. Delicious. I'm trying to like sell it just to get rid of Five, right? Yeah. Five stakes out the eyeball guy, and he drops a duffel bag, and there's stuff with the van, and Luther's like, you think you're better than us? And he's like, I know I'm better than you. I'm 28 years older than you. You guys don't know anything. He's doing this whole thing, right? Whatever. All that stuff happened. They developed the characters some, whatever. Klaus was involved, the whole thing, right? But he was in the dumpster looking. That was the shot I wanted. The dumpster's next to their house. So it could totally still be in there. I had no idea.
It certainly could. I didn't realize that they have their own dumpster.
I had no idea where the dumpster was. It solves all of our problems. That they go out the back alley with the van and all that stuff happens, whatever.
Yeah.
Then he's in the bathtub.
Yes.
And we see
playing music, relaxing.
He is in fact haunted by the dead.
Yes.
As we had speculated. And Ben even has a line early on that says, "Screw this. Can we go to the beach? Like, what are we doing here?" or whatever like that. And then I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. Maybe the like picture being dead and the world is just an empty void, and then in the darkness there's this little light, and it's Klaus."
Yeah.
And around him you can see the world. So the dead are just like moths to a flame going to Klaus in this after death world,
I wonder
right?
if it's because in this previous life of the Umbrella Academy, I'm sure he's killed a lot of people. I was thinking, I'm like, are these all the people he's killed and they haunt him?
Wow.
Or that they have killed or whatever.
Yeah. That's perfect. I like that too. But they're like attached to Klaus was the point. So like Ben can't go to the beach without Klaus going to the beach.
Yeah.
He's stuck, right? This whole thing. And maybe his connection was strongest to Ben, and that's why Ben is like more interactive, or Ben's powerful.
Or he allows Ben to be interactive.
Oh, it's wonderful. There's a scene later because everything's going to hell, and he's still dancing and has his headphones in, and Ben's like, Klaus! Trying to like yell to get his attention, but he can't hear him and all that stuff. Dumb stuff like that. Because that means, wait, is it still going into his ears? Like, how does this work? It's amazing. It's this little, dusting of a detail there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I dig it.
Yeah, I like how he bumbles his way around and doesn't interact with any of this thing. And but you kind of knew when the trunk was going up, you're like, well, he got Klaus.
I wrote down Mr. Magoo for this part.
Yeah, and he got him.
Yeah, he's in the trunk at the end. He starts screaming. He's going to be a handful. He's going to be that joke of like, we kidnapped someone and then we gave him back because he was too much trouble.
If you want to keep me, you got to feed me.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be. They'll like give him truth serum, and he's like, "This is good stuff," and like has no ability.
I've had better.
I've had better. I know a guy. Can we go talk to my guy? This will be great. We should do this or whatever. Yeah. I can't imagine the interrogation or what's going to happen. It's going to surprise me no matter what it is. But this is going to be. Part of me almost thought that it was going to be Agnes in the trunk or whatever because something else happened or whatever. But I knew that it wouldn't be because of how we led into it. But for some reason, I knew something was going to happen like that. I forget what tipped me off much earlier.
The only other thing I could have accepted is like he kidnapped Mom, like the empty body vessel.
Like after,
and like enough of them still care that they would come back for it, and Diego might not admit that he turned her off.
Yeah.
But no, it's clearly Klaus because they shut it.
It's Klaus, and this is a whole thing now, right? So Klaus, the one whose powers are arguably like I don't know what is. So here's something. We talk about this and wrap up afterwards. But like Klaus doesn't seem to be telling anyone that Ben is there.
Yeah, I don't know if they know.
They don't seem to know.
We don't know exactly what killed Ben though.
Yeah,
Klaus might be responsible.
All right, but we don't seem to no one seems to know about Ben, and also he seems to be hiding it in general, right?
It being what?
His ability to talk to the dead.
Oh, they know about it. They told him to talk to his dad.
Okay. Because I got this weird vibe that, like, he doesn't seem to ever let on anything. Because why does he have to hide it when he's talking to Ben? He could just pretend he's talking to any dead person.
Sure.
It's just weird. It was a weird thing to me. I remembered that scene, but I wasn't sure who was in the room when he was trying to conjure his dad or whatever.
Yeah, and then nobody was in the room. They tried to do it alone.
Yeah.
I wonder if the dad just doesn't want to talk to him. Or
I don't know how it works.
I don't know if he can force the trip.
But talking to the dead doesn't help stop a bank robbery or anything like that.
Not particularly.
So I'm very interested to get more information.
And especially if they can't leave his side.
His life.
Because he can't even send out like ghost scouts and stuff.
Right.
They can't send a message for him somewhere else. But we're early days.
Yeah.
There might be more to it than we know.
So I think this situation may force us to understand more about
because maybe he could send a haunting at people.
Yeah. I don't know how it works. It could be a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see.
Very curious.
But it's gonna be Ben and Klaus in a room. Klaus is in trouble. Hazel and Cha-Cha are there. Ben's interacting and giving him suggestion. It's gonna be this weird.
Yeah.
It's gonna be this thing. So I'm super excited about that. But knowing how shows work, I imagine next episode picks up and we're just going to find out about some other character. It's going to be Allison's backstory or something like that. We're going to shift away. Right? Yeah. That's that like teasing. I just expect it nowadays to be like.
No, I'm hoping that does not happen.
It hasn't happened so far. I was expecting we would get like one episode dedicated for a character, and that hasn't really happened.
No, yeah, they've been pretty good about well-rounding ensemble casting this beautiful show.
Ensemble.
Yeah. Anything else? That's where the episode literally ended.
It is where the episode literally ended, so that's the end of my literal notes. Yeah, and it was just the so there's a nice little match cut where Cha-Cha is cauterizing her wound, and then it cuts to Five like sewing his wound. They have like a similar wound or whatever, and I was like, good times. Good job, team. Good job putting that together.
It's a very good show. We're 3 episodes in, eager to see the rest of it. That was this episode, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.